Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a couple of things on today's Sussex Scroll. What we're going to do is go through a variety of topics. I only have 4 today, but I'm getting caught up from last week too, so that I can kind of stay more current. But Meghan and Harry won an award. We're going to get an update on Prince Harry's lawsuit. We're also going to talk about this coronation date and why must it be on that day. And then I also want to talk a little bit about the Jack Johnson date night. Let's get into it. Once again, thank you so much for clicking on my video. If you have not already, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on that notification bell. You're also welcome to join our membership. Feel free to click the link in the description box or hit the join button below. In the meantime, I'm going to say a big hello to the friend circle and a curtsy to the royal court. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I'm happy to have you here. So today, I want to talk about a few topics. First, we're going to get into this award that Prince Harry and Meghan won. So I wanted to start us off on a very high note, and I wanted to talk about the Ripple of Hope Award for 2022 that will be awarded to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex on December 6th. Now, I'm pulling this from the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Organization website, and I'm just going to read a little bit about it so we can get a little bit of background, and then I also want to talk about former winners of this award. Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights today announced that Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have been named this year's Ripple of Hope Award laureates in recognition of their work on racial justice, mental health, and other social impact initiatives through their Archwell Foundation. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be honored alongside previously announced laureates Frank Baker, co-founder and managing partner of Cirrus, and Brian Moynihan, chair and board of and chief executive officer of Bank of America, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Quote, "When the Duke and Duchess accepted our award laureate invitation back in March, we were thrilled. The couple has always stood out for their willingness to speak up and change the narrative on racial justice and mental health around the world," said Kerry Kennedy, president of Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights. "They embody the type of moral courage that my father once called the one essential vital quality for those who seek to change a world that yields most painfully to change." The Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Award has honored exemplary leaders across government, business, advocacy, and entertainment who have demonstrated an unwavering commitment to social change and work to protect and advance equity, justice, and human rights. Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have demonstrated a lifelong commitment to building strong and equitable communities, advancing the global dialogue around mental health, and advocating for a better world both on and offline. They co-founded Archwell Foundation in 2020 with a mission to uplift and unite communities. In a short time, they have done so in remarkable ways, from supporting Afghan refugees seeking resettlement to uplifting families in the United States in need of paid parental leave, investing in organizations working in Ukraine, to partnering with the NAACP to create the first ever Digital Civil Rights Award, working with the World Health Organization, People's Vaccine, and Global Citizen to champion vaccine access globally, to raising funds to purchase doses for frontline health workers, among many other initiatives. So I also wanted to couple this with some of the previous winners of this award. So I'm going to start with former President Barack Obama, right? Former President Bill freaking Clinton. Oh my gosh, they are in great company already. President Joe Biden, he received this during his vice presidency. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, late Congressman John Lewis, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, human rights activist late Bishop Desmond Tutu, Dr. Anthony Fauci, politician Stacey Abrams, Colin Kaepernick, Robert F. Smith, Amanda Gorman, Dolores Huerta, Tim Cook, George Clooney, and Bono. So this is a huge deal. Again, they're going to receive this at the gala on December 6th in New York. So I'll definitely try and get that covered. But it's so amazing to see that they are continuing to make an impact. And again, they don't do it for these reasons. They don't do what they do and commit their life to a life of service for no reason. They do it because they want to, and they're called to do it. It's a responsibility. I think this kind of calls back my opinion of when people say that Prince Harry has a duty in the UK. And I wanted to talk about that because y'all know I'll get on my soapbox. But when people say he has a duty, I want to remind people that sometimes a person's calling is bigger than what you may realize. And yes, he does have a duty, but I wouldn't say it's to the UK. I think he is answering the call, is committing himself to a life of service globally, which was noted in that press release, which was noted in that article, excuse me. He talked about it. He's being about it. He is walking it like he is talking it. I just want to point something out. One of the things that the royal family fails miserably at is having all the resources and not knowing what the heck to do with them. They also fail with staying current. That has been a problem for them forever. They have always struggled to stay at the helm of the shift in society. They have always struggled with that. And I think it's more apparent now. This groundswell started in the late 80s. It got worse in the 90s, and it has struggled to recover. There was a beacon of hope that the royal family could in some way be not modernized, because it's still archaic, but in some way be relevant, or at least fun to look at in 2016. And I really thought that they recognized the gem that they had by pulling Meghan in. Even just the association. More people. I never would have just clocked back into the royal family if Meghan had never been dating Harry. And I'm just going to be honest. When Harry went to the military, so went my interest. When I stopped seeing Harry at like events, I was just like, okay, well, I see they still kicking. They still got this going on, whatever. The royal family's still around. They've been around my entire life. It's just part of what is. Like, I never gave it much thought. When he started dating Meghan, I was so like, well, wait a minute. How is this going to affect what I know to be the monarchy? I'm so interested now. And I love her. She is such a cool actress. She is so cute and so funny. And she's got all these really cool things to her name. She's a philanthropist, and she's always doing these initiatives. I was always seeing her on in magazines. Like, I saw her in Good Housekeeping. And so I always saw her around. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, I like. And then she gets married. They integrate into the royal family, and I see a few little events, and I'm like, I like this. Right out the gate, their first royal tour as a couple. Well, royal tour, but like that visit to Ireland. I loved everything about it, from the looks to the initiatives to the way that they handled it, the way that they actually put focus on the initiatives that they were there to highlight, and the way that they talked about the things that they were getting involved in. There was just a new passion. It's far beyond it being just a racial thing and just this historical moment. I feel like I can represent a lot of people when I say the passion that they put into their projects, the passion that they put into their appearances, everything they did had a new lifeblood. It was no longer these, no offense to anyone, but these people who looked like they were half dead in front of a step and repeat, smiling fakely, having boring, mundane clothes, same hair, same look. Everybody looks dead behind the eyes. It's just like, I feel like this is the most publicized vampiric family ever. I've always just assumed those are some damn vampires. Y'all quit playing with me. But all jokes aside, when Harry and Meghan came about, there was just a new lifeblood. There was new energy, and there was renewed interest. I also want to point out that the royal family is not only staying in behind the times when it comes to their practices and, of course, their racism, alleged racism, not trying to get sued, but they don't realize the cultural relevance of social media. They don't really get it. They try, but they don't get it. And that's going to be a huge part of their downfall, in addition to people just being like, we're over it. We don't need these expensive freaking mascots anymore. What are you actually doing? But in all seriousness, they don't realize that people no longer just depend on the papers for information. We can talk to each other now in a way that we never could before. Social media has bridged a gap like no other force. We can now talk to each other. I don't even think they really get Twitter, because I can literally just say, all of my UK subscribers or all of my UK followers, what's the freaking weather like where you're at? Name your town and what the weather's like, and I will get a response. It's the best focus group out right now, and I can get information right now. So when the tabloids are showing these curated and posed pictures to send a certain message, and they're making that headline a certain catchy phrase, and they're demonizing one person while uplifting one person, and the media is telling me who to hate, telling me who to love, I can simply just look at other perspectives. And that's what they don't realize, is messaging is no longer one-dimensional. We can truly see all sides. And I think that's the part that's going to be their most relevant undoing. That's truly it. So the reason I'm bringing that up, and the reason that this was kind of on my spirit today, was because looking at how the world receives Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan, looking at how the world receives them versus how the royal family receives them, it's quite a show, right? Like it's quite a show. And they're doing their damnedest to tell us that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are one way, but everybody who meets them sees something totally different. And I don't know about you, but I would be more apt to trust the person who met someone firsthand and didn't have anything to gain from having an opinion about them one way or the other, versus someone who's been accused of racism and have shown us multiple times that it might not be just an accusation. So I'm happy they're receiving this award. I'm continuously supporting them, and I'm very happy they continue to receive the love and the adoration that they get. But I also love the fact that they don't do it for that. They do it simply because it's the right thing to do. Simply because it's the right thing to do. And again, I ask anybody who questions this, I'm fine with you questioning, my motives. I'm fine with you questioning my opinion. You can do that. I'm one wackadoo on the internet with an opinion. And what good has the royal family done for anyone outside of themselves? And the good that they have done, is it aligned with the type of resources they have? Because I would venture to say they have tons more resources at their disposal, being this age-old freaking institution with millions and millions and millions of dollars at their disposal, and all this access and all these friends in high places and all these things. But I don't see them making headlines for improving society globally the way I see two people. Because you don't have to have it all right here. You just got to have it here, and it'll find a way. The effort just has to match the passion, and a way will be made. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the lawsuit going on. It's against a major publisher, and I haven't gotten a chance to talk much about it. There's been a lot going on, which is totally fine. But today I pulled an article out of Harper's Bazaar, and it was written by one Omid Scobie. So I felt like this is a pretty good article that I could read and get everything I needed out of it. So let's get started. The article title is Prince Harry Joins Celebrities in Major Privacy Lawsuit Against Publisher. Prince Harry has joined Sir Elton John and a number of high-profile figures to sue the publisher of British tabloid The Daily Mail over allegations of abhorrent criminal activity. High court legal filings on October 6 include action from the pair, Elton's partner David Furnish, actress Elizabeth Hurley, campaigner Baroness Doreen Lawrence, and British producer and designer Sadie Frost. The group accuses Associated Newspapers, which owns the Mail Online, Mail on Sunday, and Daily Mail, of gross breaches of privacy, of which acting lawyers claim they have compelling and highly distressing evidence. Oh my gosh. A statement from Prince Harry and Sadie Frost lawyers, Hamlin's LLP, sent to Bazaar.com, outlines a series of unlawful acts being alleged by the group of 6, including the hiring of private investigators to secretly place listening devices inside people's cars and homes, and commissioning of individuals to surreptitiously listen into and record people's live private telephone calls whilst they were taking place. Other alleged offenses include paying police officials with corrupt links to private investigators for inside sensitive information, the impersonation of individuals to obtain medical information from private hospitals, clinics, and treatment centers by deception, and accessing of bank accounts, credit histories, and financial transactions through illicit means and manipulation. The statement adds, it is apparent to these individuals that the alleged crimes listed above represent the tip of the iceberg and that many other innocent people remain unknowing victims of similar terrible and reprehensible covert acts. Harry and the others involved in the suit have then, per the statement, banded together to uncover the truth and to hold the journalists responsible, fully accountable, many of whom still hold senior positions of authority and power today. Lawrence is a member of the British House of Lords and has been an active campaigner in the United Kingdom since the 1993 murder of her son, Stephen. Though the Daily Mail led a campaign for her son's killers to be brought to justice, today's allegations raise the possibility that the newspaper may have also gone on to invade her privacy in pursuit of fresh stories. She is now represented by lawyers at the London-based Gunnar Cook firm alongside John and Furnish and Hurley. The Mail Group has a long history of privacy invasion and phone hacking allegations. Nathan Sparks, chief executive of Hacked Off, an organization established in 2011 that campaigns for a free and accountable press in Britain, says when Hugh Grant reported his suspicions that the Daily Mail had hacked his phone to the Leveson inquiry in 2012, the Mail accused him of lying and attacked his sworn evidence as mendacious smears. These allegations were due to be investigated in greater detail in Leveson Part 2 until the British Conservative government bowed to pressure from the Mail and the other newspapers to cancel it. He continues, quote, today, Doreen Lawrence, Prince Harry, and the other claimants are prepared to repeat similar mendacious smears in a court of law. That is so petty, and I loved it. This time, the Mail will have to defend itself in front of a high court judge rather than relying on its political allies in Downing Street to get them off the hook. The lawsuit is the third Harry has brought against Associated Newspapers since 2019. Previous cases covered accusations of libel and slander, one of which he accepted damages for in February 2021, and the other involving a story about the Duke of Sussex's bid for private security provided by the Metropolitan Police when in the UK is ongoing. Quote, though he won the first stage in July, which we reported here. His wife, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, successfully sued the publisher for copyright infringement and breach of privacy, resulting in a major payout and apology in December 2021. She donated the money to an anti-bullying charity. Oh my God, I love her. I forgot about that. A spokesperson for Associated Newspapers says, we utterly and unambiguously refute these preposterous smears, which appear to be nothing more than a pre-planned and orchestrated attempt to drag the Mail titles into the phone hacking scandal concerning articles up to 30 years old. These unsubstantiated and highly defamatory claims based on no credible evidence appear to be simply a fishing expedition by claimants and their lawyers, some of whom have already pursued cases elsewhere. So that is actually pretty revealing, because here's the thing. A big part of why a lot of these organizations, when they're sued, they don't see them through, or they don't lose, or they just simply run out, is because people run out of money. When it's an individual suing an organization like this, a lot of times the individuals do not have the time nor the resources to just continue these long lawsuits that could drag on for literal years. But you get a bunch of millionaires and well-known people together. We got time and the resources. You're going to have to pony up. Give us an explanation. You're going to have to prove that you're innocent now. You don't get to just say, hey, we don't want to talk about this in the public anymore and depend on your political allies. You have to dispute evidence. And from what I understand and what I read, they've got the evidence. It seems as though they're really prepared to pursue this and see it through. I'm excited to see this. The reason is, it's not that I just have this vendetta against, the Daily Mail or any of those. I mean, it's not about that. I just take freedom I take freedom of speech really seriously, but I also really take safety and responsibility seriously. The bigger your platform, the more responsible you have to be. It's just simply that. Not everybody's going to come here with a clean heart and an open mind and do things the right way just because they should be done. But for those people who don't have that mindset, we do have to have accountability measures, and this is one of them. I saw someone today, I was watching a news broadcast about this today, and I saw someone say that Prince Harry was litigious. First of all, I watched the show Girlfriends, and the word litigious will still forever make me laugh. Sue me or don't. But I didn't really care for that because I felt like that was dismissive to just say, oh, well, Prince Harry's litigious, so he's always going to be suing. I've never seen him pursue legal action where there wasn't a reason. So to simply say he's litigious without saying he does not mind being litigious, he does not mind defending himself, he does not mind fighting for the greater good is irresponsible. And I think it will serve as a great reminder that you are responsible for what you put out there. And when you go about it by nefarious means, or you're being odious in your attempt to get information, you do have to answer for that. There are people's lives at stake. People are affected by this, which is so great that we have archetypes to talk in depth about how words mean things. Cue to Crystal on the read. Words mean things, and I don't think anyone should know that better than some journalists. Anyway, I can't wait to see how this works out, but I am so glad people are banding together and saying, enough! Either pony up the truth and go about getting your information through legal means, or you about to pay. Next up, we have a long scroll today. Next up, I want to talk about this coronation date. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, then you know I'm not happy. You know I'm not happy. Because Charles, what the hell, man? What the hell? I act like Charles watched my video. Charlie boy, why are you doing this? There are 365 days in the calendar on my wall. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't know what kind of calendar Charles has. He has a limited amount of days, honey, and May 6th was needed. But on my calendar, there are 365 other days that you could have chosen to have your coronation. Now you're about to get upstage, because I would rather go see Archie at Chuck E. Cheese than watch your coronation. Let me just say this. How big is the man that will literally launch an attack on his grandson? And then everyone's like, oh, well, you know, he's thinking of withholding titles. Oh, no, they already have the titles. The titles are their birthright. And the titles, I mean, Prince and Princess for little Archie and little Lily. Friends of the channel. But I can just say that. It doesn't even have to be true. I can just say that. Look at me. I'm the Daily Mail. I can just say it. It doesn't have to be true. But friends of the channel, little Archie and little Lily, they have earned through birthright, through their father, the right to be called Prince and Princess. And Charles is holding that over their head. So he's already got negative marks in my book for worst grandfather. I've been doing a poll online. Who is worse, Charlie boy or Tommy boy? And by Tommy boy, I mean Thomas Markle. Who's the worst father? I don't think it gets any worse than either of them. Anyway, I am livid with this news. I could not wait to talk about it. And that's why it's last, because I knew that if I got on this topic, I would probably never make it to the other topics in this video. But how dare Charles act like we don't see what he's doing? I saw someone deem him Charles the Cruel, and I love that. That name stuck with me, and I'm sticking with it. So I have an article from Harper's Bazaar that I want to share and read because it gives us a little information. It was written by Rosa Sanchez, and it was published yesterday. And it's titled, King Charles' Coronation Lands on Archie's Birthday. It didn't land there. I want us to stop this. It didn't land there. It was planted there. It was planted. And y'all know I take birthdays very seriously. Anyway, King Charles III will be coronated next year, and Buckingham Palace has released all the details on the ceremony, like we give a damn. One thing they did not note, however, was that the historic event falls on the birthday of one of the monarch's grandchildren. Interesting. Now you can tell us all the details. We know what kind of hairspray Camilla about to have on. We know what kind of lotion Charles about to have on, and what ugly suit that don't fit he about to have on, them too tight rings that he needs to have resized. We know about all of that. But what we don't know is that his grandson's birthday is the day he chose for his coronation. Charles is playing in our face. And honestly, I'm not even in the UK, but if I were a citizen of the UK, I would be offended that he does things like this. Do you know how embarrassing it is to have the leader of your country behave like this? Because I do. I had 4 years of it. And I'm still recovering. That was an awful person. Oh, I'm not going to talk about the orange Cheeto, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Prince Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, the son of Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan, was born on May 6, 2019. I remember well. The monarch's coronation will be held on May 6, 2023, Archie's birthday, the day he turns 4. I deem that International Archie Day, and I will be celebrating. Now that they are no longer working royals, it is unclear if Harry and Meghan will attend the event in support of King Charles. I don't want that. They don't have to, according to me. It is also unclear how the date of King Charles' coronation was chosen. Really? But it will come 8 months after the death of Queen Elizabeth II on September 8, 2022. The Sussexes recently reunited with the British royal family for the ceremony surrounding the Queen's passing, such as her vigil and state funeral. Meghan also put her podcast Archetypes on pause, I remember that, during the mourning period as a sign of respect for the late monarch. The pair's 2 children were not present at the events for the Queen. Good for them. In a statement shared with media outlets, including Bazaar.com, a spokesperson confirmed that King Charles' coronation ceremony will be held at London's Westminster Abbey and see the monarch crowned alongside his wife, Camilla, Queen Consort. The occasion will be pared down. Compared to previous coronations, Queen Elizabeth II's 1953 3-hour ceremony cost the British public $1.57 million or $1.74 million at the time, and today's equivalent would be around $50 million. A spokesperson tells Bazaar that while Charles's coronation will retain the same core religious elements, the man who said he wanted to be a tampon, he got a lot of nerve. He has a lot of, Charles is a mess. Little Charlie boy. Let me stop. A spokesperson tells Bazaar that while Charles's coronation will retain the same core religious elements as others before it, the ceremony will be lighter on pomp and opulence in an effort to recognize the spirit of our times. The spirit of our times will see it that you don't be here. Like, go get a real job. Go get a real job. That's the sign of the times I'm on. Quote, the coronation will reflect the monarch's role today and look toward the future while being rooted in long-standing traditions and pageantry. The spokesperson said, adding that there will be an emphasis this time around on keeping costs down and appearing less fussy. This includes King Charles having less outfit changes than previous monarchs, reducing the ceremony length to just 1 hour, and ditching some of the more time-consuming and extravagant elements, such as the presentation of the gold bars. So remember earlier in the video when I said I think they overestimate their relevance? I could have just read this article and y'all would have gotten the exact same message. So anyway, y'all can go ahead and have your little doohickey and celebrate King Charles or whatever. Charlie boy, we will always forever know you as a crown tampon, and that was by your own volition. But I will say this, I would much rather watch Prince Archie celebrate his 4th birthday at a Chuck E. Cheese, at a Kids Zone, at a KB Toys, at a Toys R Us. I would rather watch that than have any of your coronation on any of my screens, and I have a lot of them. I would rather hear what Archie ate for breakfast on the day of his birthday than watch you be crowned with some blood diamonds. I would much rather ask Meghan, what's the word of the day? What we talking about today on Archetypes? I would rather watch Harry go down to the beach. I would rather see what Mia's doing, the new adoptee. I would rather ask Lily, how are you using your voice? I heard you were getting your voice now. I want to hear what you've been saying. I would rather do any of those things than think about Charlie Boy's coronation. My heart goes out to all of my followers who are in the UK. My heart goes out to you. So lastly, before we get out of here, I am going to share a little bit about the date night at the Jack Johnson concert. I wanted to end on a high note and start on a high note. And so Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan went to a Jack Johnson concert in Santa Barbara, and they were snapped by a few paparazzi. I wanted to include it because I like to have transparency on my channel, but I don't feel good about including it because they did not look like they even knew they were being photographed, and I don't feel good about that. So I'm not going to share that, but I am going to say it was really great to see them having a great night out. They looked like they were having a blast. I will say this, I love watching Prince Harry have conversation with people because he is an animated orator. Like, he speaks with his hands. He's always like pointing, and he's like really theatrical. It is fun watching him talk to people. A lot of people like to play it cool and hold back, and they don't really put anything into the conversation. And that's exactly why y'all don't be making friends. And it's not fun to talk to someone who's just kind of like putting on airs. And it was funny to look at those photos and watch some of those video clips, because Harry was into a conversation and he was animated. And I was like, I need to know what he's talking about. Overall, they looked like they were having a really good time. And it was good to see that they did not let any of this nonsense get to them, and they are still living a happy, fulfilled life. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sussex Scroll. I'm going to be doing this every week, possibly multiple times a week, where I just get caught up on Sussex related news, because I'll be doing my own content. And so sometimes I miss things. But tomorrow I have another Sussex Scroll episode where I'll be talking about a few new details and a few other informations, including the Archwell and Ving partnership. But also I've got a little update from Simon Durante Day, aka Simon Windsor. And I know you're ready for that. So don't forget to come back tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to try to post every day at that time, Monday through Friday, and have all of my lives on Mondays at 5:30. I'm also looking for moderators for my lives on Monday. I just need to. So if you're interested in helping me moderate, reach out to me. My email is in the description box below. We can chat about it, because I don't even really know where to start. I had a moderator who was just like a really cool person, but she's always busy on Mondays. She works late on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and she wouldn't be able to do it. And Mondays is the best day for me to do a live. I like to start my week off with lots of live interaction. It keeps me motivated throughout the week. So if you're interested, don't forget to let me know. I would love to have you moderate. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe, follow me on socials, and I will see you next time. Bye.